Welcome to the Find Your Flow podcast. Okay, listener. Hi. I wanted to jump in here real quick before I go into the studio to record, because this episode, I've never done anything like this before. And frankly, it makes me a little bit nervous, just a touch nervous, strictly because I don't know what to expect. I'm going into the studio with a holistic, soul-aligned business coach, Chrissy Mellinger, which she's in a 3-part series in the season one of Find Your Flow. And we're being joined by Sandra Lee. And she is this wonderful, holistic healer. I'm just going to call her that because she has so many different modalities. And I think she's spectacular. And I want to see her business just sort of blow up and explode. I want her to become something enormous. I want her to make a lot of money. I am on a sort of rampage / mission to help soul-aligned, holistic practitioners, experts, business owners, entrepreneurs make money. We're in this paradigm shift where making money is really aligned with who you are and your mission in life and how aligned you are with your mission. It takes a bit of a transition period to go from old paradigm of marketing and strategizing and selling into this, I am who I am, and my clients are those who are aligned with me and who I was 5 to 10 years ago. And that's who I help. So to help us all through this transition, I'm really focused, hyper-focused on providing guidance from experts. I don't have the answers, so I'm finding and seeking those who do. And today's episode is a hot seat coaching episode. I have no idea what to expect, but I have a feeling it's going to be amazing. And we're all going to learn a shit ton on how to maybe change our businesses, tweak things here and there to be able to align with this new definition of money, this new frequency of money. So tune in. I hope you enjoy. I hope you learn as much as I do. See you. Hello, welcome to Find Your Flow. I'm so excited to have in the studio with me Sandra Lee, who is an amazing expert healer with so many different modalities, and we're going to go into all of that. And Chrissy Mellinger, who is an extraordinary business coach for those of us who are in soul-aligned businesses. Now, listener, there is a 3-part series with Chrissy and her geniusness as a business coach. And if you've been listening, then you know I'm a little bit OCD about why it is that the holistic experts are not making money. And I get it. I'm an Aries. I'm a little bit impatient. And we're just in this paradigm shift of changing who is making money. And it's not about making money. It's about aligning with money. The frequency of money is changing and our businesses need to align with that frequency. But the Ram in me is like, right fucking now, right? Like this should have already happened. So please, I'm going to hand the mic over to Chrissy and Sandra. Sandra, please introduce yourself. The listeners have not met you yet. And I would really like Chrissy to get some background on you.
My goodness, so much fun. So I am a freedom from pain mentor. I support people in getting out of pain so that they can be the person they want to be. They can have the life and the relationships and the health and everything that they want. If pain is in their way, I can help them get through that.
Any kind of pain you're going to help them break through.
I am focusing most directly on physical pain because it's easy to identify that. And the truth is all of the pain, because sometimes I get like miraculous results with somebody's physical pain in the moment, and then it comes back. Because what's underneath it, the reason why they have the pain in the first place, you have to go deeper. So if people don't have physical pain and they have the mental, emotional, spiritual pain, they're not being the person they want to be, they're not getting the business they want, that can manifest physically, or it might not manifest physically. But recently I just made this shift to focusing on the physical pain, because it's really clear for people if they do or do not have that.
I just have so many questions. Can I just ask all my questions?
Go for it.
Why? Why this?
For several years, and this is part of the answer to the question that Lisa wants to know. For several years, I have been hiring coaches, been in coaching programs, and had these coaches tell me that I have to sell business, I have to sell success, and I have to sell money. And none of that is natural for me. What's natural for me is working with people and their health and their bodies and pain. So I listened to these high-priced experts telling me, no, people are only going to buy money, basically. And so I tried to do that. And this is part of why I have struggled so much, because I have been trying to build a business that is not fit who I am. And one version, another version, another version. So part of why I haven't been is I've been so inconsistent, and also not on my message. So part of how I came to be doing this now is I've been a massage therapist for 37 years, forever, helping people get out of pain, right? But I was trying to be a business coach. And a coach that I was talking with, I helped her. She had headache every day for 13 months. And the only thing she knew when she woke up in the morning was that at some point during that day, she was going to have a headache. So in a first session with her, I helped her headache go away, and she had 3 days without a headache. And so a couple days later, we met to do coaching for me, and she's helping me figure out what my story and what my message is. And she said, you help people get out of pain. Stop trying to be a business coach. And so now that's why I am focusing on pain and having so much more fun. Oh my goodness. It's so much more in alignment with who I am. Yeah.
And I can affirm, so more than just that, Sandra also does biofield tuning that sort of layers on what she does in person with people. And I mean, I can attest that the magic she creates is seriously impactful.
For some reason, I am particularly effective at working with the brain injury, strokes, things like, dyslexia. There is something about how I work with brains that is kind of miraculous. It's really amazing how I help people with that. So I have been kind of focusing on brain trauma, but also, pain in general.
I love this. It's beautiful. And yeah, I don't want to throw business coaching under the bus, but I'm going to 100% throw business coaching under the bus, because there's so many, you should do it this way, or you should, you were talking about, people are only going to buy money. We know that the 3 biggest things that humans are going to invest in: money, time, and love. Money's the easiest low-hanging fruit, right? Because we have to pay mortgages and rents and food and all the things. But for so many people, money is not actually the end goal. So to say that, Sandra, you have to be a business coach and you have to help people get the money. you're helping them love themselves and get time back and get the freedom from the pain. And those are actually more sustainable long-term goals. Humans, we need money because we live in capitalist societies that thrive on money. However, as creatures, we need time to be present, and we need love to make the world go around, and also for our biological systems. We need love and connection. So when you specifically are just going after money and business and that kind of thing, of course it's not going to work, because that's not the thing that you're fucking good at. Like, you help people get time and love, and through, you know, through pain and releasing that and all of that. So yeah, I'm excited that you, like, what are you going to do with this realization now? What's the goal?
So ultimately, to help both individuals and groups of people get their life back and moving forward with what they really want to do. You want to know about my big picture goal? Lisa already knows about this. I want the whole big, beautiful
vision. I want it.
The big vision is, okay, so that governments and corporations and the food production system, the healthcare system, the financial system, all of these systems that run the world, that they prioritize what's best for people on the planet, not what's happening right now. And so my vision is that entrepreneurs elevate themselves so that they are driving that for the world in general. That's my vision. And part of my picture of that is that I have a regenerative agriculture farm where I raise nutrient-dense food and help make the earth healthier, and operate my coaching business out of one of the farmhouses.
Can I be a part of this? Like, this sounds amazing.
Yes. Yes. You can.
This is huge. And also, like, having known you for 12 minutes, your energy is different when you talk about that versus when you were talking about this is what you used to do and this is what everybody tells you that you're supposed to do, and all of the shoulds and all of the like, nah, 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 nah. We just say, like, piss off to the noise. Like, your heart knows what it wants to do. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
So more recently, I have loved getting into NLP and root cause coaching. And here is where I figured out what I haven't told Lisa yet, that has totally changed everything. It explains why I have never been successful in business, why I struggle with managing money, why I struggle with time, all of these things. So when I was 6 months old, my parents left me for 3 days with an aunt and uncle. They left, you know, they were responsible, but they left me with an aunt and uncle. And I thought my mother was not coming back. She had never previously left me for longer than half an hour before that. So I thought she was gone. She was not coming back. And I gave up. And I said, I don't need you anymore. I have to take care of myself. I'm only 6 months old. I have known about this memory for years. 30 years I've been working on this memory. And when I was in my NLP training, I was in a root cause coaching session, and my coach said, you made yourself responsible, not just for yourself, but for everyone and everything. Which makes complete sense now that I think about it, but I had not made that connection before. So all of the perfectionism and all of the overwhelm and I don't know how comes from this. Okay. And then there's another piece. I was in another root cause coaching session as part of the training, and he helped me realize, again, in a different way, something I've known. Connection with people, connecting with people has always been the most important thing. I remember being in high school and saying, I just want conversations that mean something, that quality that is so alive here, right? I just love that. But at the same time, connection is also the most dangerous thing in the world, because you might leave me. So the most important thing is also the most dangerous thing. Leading to, for my whole time as a business owner, I have been petrified, paralyzed about making follow-up calls, making calls. As a business owner, you have to make phone calls. If you want to do a client-based business, you have to make phone calls. And I have been petrified, terrified about making phone calls. And about anything where there is any small chance that I might bother people, offend people, upset people, hurt people. I grew up, I remember being 6 years old and, feeling like I'm bad and I hurt people. So I'm just always afraid of bothering people, taking advantage of people and hurting people. And so really afraid to, make offers to people, suggest things to people. So this one event, 6 months old, the foundation of everything and all of the fear and lack of success comes from that one thing. Crazy, isn't it?
No, because of the way that our brains work and our bodies work. And yes, it sounds crazy. And also, you were terrified and you didn't know. And you're incredibly wise. So you took that as little 6-month-old baby. I'm in charge now. Like, I've got to run the show. And you did it. And whether your business has or has not been successful in the way that you want it to be, you're still alive.
Mm-hmm.
You still get to help other human beings. You still get to do some version of the thing that you want to do, and you have been successful. So as far as that 6-month-old says, great job, Sandra. And also, like, that's not the way that you have to do things anymore.
Thank goodness.
So what changes now? So now that you have this awareness, what changes?
Well, now I'm actually able to make phone calls and do it from a place not of fear, I need you, desperation, but it's like, how can I contribute to you? How can I be of service to you? That's a really big deal. And also, like, when the worry comes up about, are they going to like me, or I'm going to make a mistake? It's like I can talk myself through it and take action. It changes everything, right?
Lisa,
Yes.
I think I know what you're going to say, and I really hope you do.
Well, I'm just going to ask I don't know, maybe make an observation. I want to make an observation because Sandra, I've known you for a few years now, and I've seen that transition from I don't want to say anything. I don't want to ask questions. Am I being a bother? Am I being a pain in your ass? And you have literally used those words to me. I don't want to be a pain in the ass. I don't want to be annoying, but could I maybe blah, 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 right? To now where it's beautiful to see you in videos and posting and being much more visual, being much more outspoken and reaching out to people and making those phone calls, sending the emails and messaging. I feel, and Chrissy, I guess this is where my question comes in. I still feel, because that's like my specialty, is to feel my way through what is presented to me in life. I feel the undercurrent of, and I wrote it down here, of desperation. Not, oh God, please be my client, and please don't let me fail. That's not the undercurrent of desperation I feel. I literally feel the 6-month-old's desperation of, like, am I gonna die? If And now this makes sense to me because like I'll look at, and Sandra, you know, none of this is in judgment. This is all in because I love you. I look at something like your email signature and all of the offerings that are boom right there for me to read. And the first thing that I feel is why is Sandra sort of defending herself in her email signature? She has nothing to
I'll
prove.
have to look at that.
Nothing to prove. But I know you. So I purposefully sent that to Chrissy to get her feedback on it as well. So I guess my question here is, Chrissy, Sandra knows the root cause of why business has not been successful. And she's working through that. And Sandra, I'd like you to dig a little deeper into NLP. I would love for everyone to know what that is. How can she, because that is a wound, right? That is an absolute deep wound. That is not one and done. That shit is real. It takes session after session after session of personal work, which will then be reflected in your business. In the meantime, is there a Band-Aid? Is there a bridge? Is there something that she can do to sort of bridge the gap between who the healer that she is right now? Notice all of us have our throats like are clearing, but anyway, just want to point that out. Bridge that gap between the healing healer and the fucking awesome, the awesome, strong leader, brave, courageous. I mean, it's such a contrast of energies that I can only imagine subliminally potential clients are confused. So what does one do with that?
So
sorry, was that too much?
that was, yes.
Yeah, it's great.
So part of it is mental, part of it is the mindset perspective, right? And then part of it is the strategy. So first, that beautiful vision that you told us, that is hands down one of the best ones that I've heard in a long time. You're gonna piss people off. You are literally asking every single system that our world relies upon to change the foundations and priorities of what they focus on. Systems that are built to oppress and destroy and take advantage of and exploit, you want to come in and say, hey guys, maybe we don't do it this way. Maybe we actually give a shit about human beings and like put them first and take care of Mama Earth and like do the things that we're supposed to do. Do you know how many people you're going to offend?
That part doesn't get talked about very much.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you asked for what is the big vision. And so I told you that. Most people don't hear that part.
And
just
Sandra
because it
is by nature a disruptor. She is like her function in my life for these number of years that I've known her is seriously a disruptor. And what used to provide friction for me, I go, ooh, Sandra just asked me a very probing question and fuck a duck. I gotta look at it. But that's Sandra. Where you go, motherfucker, shit, this is going to be hard. But that's Sandra. And, you know, I know a lot of healers who are fucking wrecking balls and they come in and the most loving, kind wrecking balls that just come in and completely destroy your entire vision of who you thought you were and what is happening. Sandra comes in and she just sort of places this thought that you go, shit, that's going to change everything. So when she says that she's really good with the mind, that is literally her specialty. No shit. She can come in and in a moment, be able to disrupt everything. So it doesn't surprise me at all that she wants to disrupt every system that we possibly have. But how do you take that huge, I call that the wedding cake syndrome. You want a wedding cake, but you don't even know like what your ingredients are or how to bake a cupcake for that matter. So how do you take the wedding cake and bring it down to here are your ingredients, and we're going to learn how to make a cupcake first?
The first part is you actually have to tell more people about it, which I know is like just this feeling of like, nope. Because, and I am going to give you strategic things in a second. Every single human being doesn't need to know the vision. But if you're playing it in the back of your mind that I'm going to disrupt everything that this world relies upon to take us back to the way we used to be and that we should be, but you're not telling anybody about it, there is a disconnect in your own mind of, I want to help people get free from pain. I want to help them return to who they are and all the things and da-da-da-da. And you're limiting yourself. Let yourself talk to the big picture, because if you want to figure out how to take this big, beautiful wedding cake and turn it into one slice, you have to acknowledge what you want. You have to actually acknowledge and own the fact that, like, no, I'm here to change the whole goddamn world. And I'm owning that. It's not this little dream that it would be cool if. It would be cool if I had a baby elephant the size of my puppy dog who could hang out and be my third puppy dog. That would be cool. You're here to change the world and own that and hold that not just deep inside, but also, hey, I'm Sandra Lee and I'm here because I'm going to change the way we fundamentally look at humans and resources. And when that can be firmly cemented in your reality of that's what I'm building towards, not it would be cool if, not the thing that like 3 human beings know, then you have that sight firmly in your eye sight. That's a weird way to say it. You have that image firmly planted, and then you can start taking action of, if I know this is where I'm going, I know I'm not going to do that in a year. I know I'm not realistically going to do that in 5 years. So what are the steps to get me to the first next step? It's having more confidence. It's sitting back and saying, I'm going to go off the email example because Lisa already said that. I don't need to have everything and its brother in my email signature. I know who I am. Here's my website. Here, I'm picking things out of thin air, right? Here's my website. Here's my booking link. And here's a review. The simplicity of, I am fucking amazing. And I am going to be of service to you. And I am going to help you. And I am going to do the things to help you have the life you want to have. In that very confident, I don't need to show everything. Like, I just am who I am. Here's the way to access it. And when you're ready, you're going to take that next step. I'm going to stop talking because that was a lot.
Can I ask a quick question, Sandra, first? I just want to jump in. Chrissy,
Yeah.
so she has this vision, which frankly, like, I would jump on that ship in a heartbeat. She wants to change the world. She wants to disrupt all the systems and like 100%. The person who agrees with her, is that her client? Or the person who has the same goal, is that her client?
That's a good question. I think it depends. Because there are 2 types, right? So Sandra's going to be helping the people who already know that they want to disrupt the way that our world works. And they know that they can do that by getting free of the pain, getting free of the limitations and the things that take up all of the mental load of, my whole body aches today. I can't do anything else because I'm in so much physical pain. And then we also have to help the people who like aren't ready for it, who don't
Right.
know what they're doing. So yes and no.
So maybe those who identify with the symptoms and those who know that those are just symptoms. And like, this is the shit that I need to clear. And then those who are confused because they're just in their symptoms. Because Sandra, we've talked about you like you're not even here, but Sandra, this is where you're a fucking rock star. I'm not even kidding. This is where she shines. This is where you shine. So I think it's just taking that big idea, actually owning it, putting it out into the world, backtracking it through messaging to this is where you're going to start. And then, like, there's this little middle ground starting position of everybody, if you're on board with me and you want to disrupt the way the world works, you actually have to start by disrupting the way that your world works, your body works. And then those, hey, guess what? When you're in pain, it's because you're looking for something else to do. You're looking and your body is telling you, please disrupt our normal function because I don't want to be functioning like this anymore. And once you've come from there to this is, you're in a place of I want to disrupt how my body functions. It's because, ding, ding, connect the dots. It's because you actually want to change the world. So you're literally helping people through the healing journey that you've been on yourself. Do I have that right? Am I off base? Sandra! Okay, Sandra, A, what do you think of all of that? B, NLP, please tell us. What is NLP?
That makes so much sense. This big piece that I have said, yes, this is something that I want, but I mostly don't talk about it. You're right. It actually would be great to have it be the context, the big picture. So Lisa knows that in May, I had a summit, the Purpose to Profit Summit, where for the first time, really, in any sort of significant way, I took this big goal and I said, okay, everybody, we're here to change the world. So how do we do that? And I talked about the whole, entrepreneur thing. And so, but I mostly I don't talk about it since it's not part of daily conversation, daily awareness, even, it's just not there. So, I'm going to evaluate that. And NLP is neuro-linguistic programming that's been around for quite a long time. I'm going to say the 70s. And it works with the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. The things that we know, all the goals and all of the conscious, that's conscious. But what actually drives decisions is the unconscious. All the stuff that is unresolved, unfinished, and hidden away. And this way of working with the unconscious mind has been effective in helping people clear the root causes of where they get stuck for a long time. What I really appreciate about the particular form of NLP that I do is that we've added root cause coaching to it. So my experience of NLP by itself has been that it's great. Timeline therapy is wonderful, but it wasn't really getting deep enough. And root cause coaching helps you before you get into working with the timeline. You go, okay, what's underneath this? And you get to the roots so that you are doing the timeline therapy process on the bigger, more significant contributors to the issue. And I have found that that has increased my effectiveness, both personally, like my own personal change, and in the work that I do with people. So when I was doing just the regular NLP, I was like, well, yeah, it's great, but. And so adding the root cause coaching piece in is like, whew, so much more.
Okay, listeners, so now you have an idea of what NLP is. And I'm just like going to pause here for a commercial break to say, if you want to work with Sandra, you need to get on her website, It will be in the show notes. And if you are loving this business coaching, get over to Chrissy's website. It too will be in the show notes. Sandra, you have this amazing capacity. And I think it's because you have done so much personal work, so much personal growth, that you have this library of modalities in your toolkit that you're able to access when you work with individual clients. Can you just give a little bit of a laundry list, just so Chrissy has an idea of all of the modalities that you work with? And then, Chrissy, can you please, because I think this is so valuable for all of the practitioners who are out there, those of us who have been in the holistic sector, gathering all of our tools, finding all of these things to be curious, and getting the certifications and the trainings and the this and the that. They're often put on the shelf like library books. And Sandra has this ability to access, and she takes out a library book and she mixes it with this one and that one. But I don't necessarily think that that's common. I think that these are all considered individual tools that can be used for certain clients at certain times. When in reality, what you're doing is building a pantry from which you get to grab all of these different ingredients to build something spectacular and curated for that client who's right in front of you. And I think specifically for Sandra, if you want to be a worldwide disruptor, you need as many tools as you can possibly get your hands on, right? And the only way you will be successful at making massive change, at even planting the seeds for massive change, is to, which is why we're all here, for you to be able to do your part to help as many people as possible get to a point where they too are like, we're fucking on board, let's go, because it's going to be that mass influence that starts moving the needle for all of these systems that have been in place and have been making money by an old paradigm. So it's going to take this pressure. And that pressure comes from the numbers of people who are healed to a certain extent of being able to step into their own individual power. And that empowerment only comes from people like you who have all of this training and can weave it into something that is beautifully curated for this audience, right? So, Chrissy, how do you put all that together? Don't you love how I'm like heavily leaning on you? I've got all these questions.
Let me hear the laundry list.
Like, let's start there.
Yeah.
Take it away, Sandra. What do you do?
So the center of it is what's happening with the energy. Is the energy flowing and things are functioning, or is the energy stuck? Whatever it is I'm choosing from the menu at any given moment is determined by what is happening with the energy and what intuition tells me to do in that moment. And I was working with somebody a couple of days ago for the first time, and she asked me, "Where did you learn that?" And it's like, nobody taught me any of it, right? I learned this modality. I learned biofluid tuning. I learned body work. I learned all this stuff. I've learned Reiki, and I don't do any of that. I do what comes up in the moment. So I'm creating new stuff, new techniques all of the time, because it's what intuition tells me is needed in this moment. So when it comes to biofluid tuning, right? I'm not doing biofield tuning the way biofield tuning is taught. This is what I have found is the most effective tool to increase my intuitive capacity to amplify what I pick up. For, I don't know, 30 years, people's bodies have been talking to me, telling me this is what I need, or this is connected to that, or this stress, this situation, this injury, this relationship, this argument, this, my daughter's not talking to me. That piece that they might not have told me comes in, and I say, what is there about this? And then the person tells me about something they hadn't told me, because it's like, it's in your shoulder here. It's in this back pain. It's in this headache. So that people are able to make the connections between all of the different pieces and how they play into the symptom picture. So if this is a diamond with 1,000 facets on it, and if all I'm doing is therapy, or if all I'm doing is massage, or if all I'm doing is chiropractic, I am never going to resolve this diamond of an issue. If I work with it this way and this way and this way, I do coaching, I do counseling, I, do NLP, I do massage, all these, then this issue can't escape because it doesn't get a chance. And that's what people are like. We're all this like multifaceted diamond full of issues. And so when we work with all of these different things, and I allow whatever it is to come up, questions come up, and help the energy blocks to clear. Lisa knows that I think this. If energy is flowing, then the body is functioning. And the mind is able to think and able to move forward, make progress, take action. And as soon as a question or a thought or a doubt or a fear or a worry comes in, instantly, the energy stops. Instantly. Anytime I have a negative thought, a negative belief, a fear, a worry, overwhelm, it's like the energy gets stuck. And when the energy gets stuck, the health is impacted. Pain, dis-ease, sore throat, lumbar, fear, worries, not making progress, all of these things. So for people to be able to have me, right? Their body is telling me what they need to hear that they are too close to themselves to see. So I help them do that, and whatever it takes. So it's like my initial training was in acupressure and meridians and stuff. I don't use that consciously very much, but sometimes, we need to talk about the stomach meridian here. So it's like there's this encyclopedic access to information that just comes in, the connections.
I have so many things I want to say. One, no, Lisa, that's not the norm at all. Like, Sandra, you are the genuine thought in my mind as you were talking was, God, this woman is an amazing witch. Hands down. Like, legitimately, that was the thought coming through my mind. And I say that in the best possible way, right? I think for a lot of entrepreneurs, they are books on the shelves and they are skills learned, but not wisdom truly embodied and accepted into who you are. It's very clear in just the way that you're talking about it, Sandra. You have fully like taken it in and being like, nope, this is now part of me. Thanks. Like it's not going anywhere. So one, like that is very different and very, very cool. Two, the exact way you just described it to us with the diamond and the facets, and that is how you talk about it.
Okay. Yes.
Now, again, I don't know you super well, but come on, get on video, show us that. Literally just talk about it in the Like the listeners can't see this. Like you're literally just like hitting different parts of your fist. That's what people understand. We know we're intelligent human beings for most of us. We know that therapy alone is not going to solve the issues. We know that exercise alone, not going to solve it. Stretching alone, not going to solve it. Limiting beliefs, negative self-talk. We know this. But when so much of what we are being told in media, in whatever we're consuming is, this is the right thing for you. Wait, no, this is the best thing. No, you have to be doing this. No, you have to be doing that. It gets really noisy and really confusing. But we know, and our bodies know, that having all of these very separate, I see a therapist, I see a chiropractor, I see an acupuncturist, I see a massage therapist. Okay, but like, do I have a team? Or are they all separate beings who may or may not know that everybody else exists? And that the massage therapist work is affecting the acupuncturist work, which is affecting my GP's work. You're the whole package. You're the whole thing. And of course, like, I'm not saying people shouldn't go to their medical doctors. Like, take care of yourself. Don't be stupid. But you are the whole package in come to me, Sandra, and I'm going to help you figure out what all of the pieces are and all of the threads are that when you pull on one, the other one's going to start unraveling. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be polished. It doesn't have to be anything. You are the wise witch. Let us know what you've got going on. Come online, and maybe that's not your word of choice, whatever you want to. Come online and let us see you, and just talk about, this is why the things you're doing separately are not solving the issue, because it's not just you didn't stretch in the morning. It's not just that you have, a bad pillow or an old mattress or whatever. That you've got to address the whole thing. Tell it like it is in the way that you just told us, because that is going to be the thing that really grabs people and they go, oh, shit, okay, that makes sense. And I only have to go to one human?
Well, and here's another piece that I didn't tell you. I am basically like 24/7 every second doing kinesiology without having to do it this way, right? So when somebody said, if somebody has a bunch of things they're considering, they mention this one and my system will say yes or no. This one, yes or no. And it's all this energy flow, right? What you just thought, that blocks the flow. Pay attention to that. Just what you were saying. And another piece, I have a bachelor's in chemistry, and I love helping people understand what's going on in their body, the anatomy and the physiology. I take complex things that people have a hard time understanding and to make it easy for them to understand. So it's like this was one of those examples, right? And so I love what you are helping me be clear about. Oh my gosh.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I truly, honestly believe Sandra has so much. It's like that, what is that? It's the a curse of riches. She has so much. It's really hard for her to be organized with it. And how can you be organized when it's literally in flow all the time? That just reminded me that I forgot to ask my one and only question for all of these podcast episodes. Whatever. Whoopsie doodle. Whatever. But when she is constantly in flow, right? And it's hard to have protocols when those protocols change, right? But as a business owner, there needs to be a level of calm through the chaos, clarity through the chaos, organization through the chaos, so that you, Sandra, offer the boundaries for that flow as opposed to scatter that flow, right? So I really truly think, Chrissy, if you could help Sandra maybe get organized and be able to create some sort of framework around all that she has to offer, suddenly, Sandra, the energy in which you create completely changes. Because what you just described, the words you used, how you described, and this is what I think is the magic of you, everything felt all of a sudden, it was so grounded, it was so calm, it felt so rooted, and it felt so safe. And your audience doesn't necessarily feel safe, because whether it's in their conscious mind or their subconscious mind, they want something so big, so huge, that they can't possibly get to a place of embodying that and feeling safe with that without someone who's fucking been there before to say, listen, I know this is daunting, but I got you. And that's you, for God's sake. You're the I got you woman. I can't tell you, Chrissy, how many times Sandra has said to me over the years, Lisa, I got you. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, I know. In a time of confusion, I can ask Sandra and she's like, she's just laser focused in on it. So can you somehow help her take all of these modalities that she has, like start with something very basic, all of these modalities, and create some sort of structure around it? Not that you have to use it in a prescribed procedure, but that it's laid out for your clients in a calm manner, so that they go, okay, I can literally take off my jacket, kick off my shoes, Sandra's got me, and I feel safe doing this. Because I don't think it has anything to do with you, Sandra, which is why I get so pissed off for you. It has nothing to do with you. It just is like, simply, can she get organized? That's it.
Yes. Simple answer, yes.
Okay, thank you. We're done. Thanks so much for being here.
The difficulty in that, and Sandra, please let me know if I'm wrong here, but this is the difficulty. I've had this. When you are so close, like I said, you are not pulling stuff off the shelf. You are not remembering, oh, on page 67 of book da-da-da is the, list of shit. It's part of you. So there are times when you are so in the flow that it's not even a thought in your mind. Is this acupressure? Is this meridian? Is this chemistry? Is it, like, you're literally just like, oh, right, this is the thing that you need. Here you go. I'm channeling it. Intuition, da-da-da. I find it really helpful personally and for clients to talk to another human being and like go through a session, go through however you want to do it. But have somebody else ask you, okay, how do you know that? What's the brain process? Or record yourself on Zoom or audio, like you can do it yourself. But have you ever had to write an SOP? So standard operating procedure. The way that I was taught to write an SOP is how do you do a thing? And the way that you write it is as stupid as you can. That's not like a polite way to say it, but you want to make it idiot proof. Of literally every single step, you can see exactly what the screen looks like or exactly what button you push and da-da-da. And you are getting it down to the point where you, as the person who does this thing, you're like, oh my gosh, this is stupid. This is so annoying. Like, I understand I need to click 15 times and I'm but literally laying out what the SOP looks like, then you get to look at it and be like, oh my gosh, one, I'm amazing. How cool is this? Go me. That's always a nice feeling. And two, more importantly, it gives you that framework already. Yes, if you and I were in a session, you're going to help me differently than how you're going to help Lisa, because we're pinging differently, right? But it all roots down into, these are different things that you're looking at. These are the different pings that you're getting. The flavor is different, but everybody is getting the same general ping, right? For lack of a better word. That's my favorite tool, honestly, is to act like you're writing an SOP. And it's going to be annoying, and you're probably not going to have a lot of fun with it. But that is literally your framework. You don't need somebody else coming in and being like, oh, this is the 5-step process, or this is the 3-pillar thing, or like take all of that coaching jargon and just throw it out for a minute. You follow a framework. The easiest way to do it is literally just run through it. I think another person is helpful because you're energetic, so you're going to pull from other people more easily, but you can do it yourself as well. But I agree, having that framework, it is that structure that just gives you, it's like a really good chair, right? You don't have to lean against it. I'm not against my back right now. But having a framework means like I get to just relax and chill. And your clients know, yeah, Sandra's magic. We're going to do all the things, super cool, but like what kind of magic? And maybe that is literally just listing out, like, here are the things that I pull upon. Reiki, kinesiology, chemistry, and the laundry list of things. It gives them a frame of reference for humans that says, okay, great, I get a flavor of this. When you go into the ice cream shop, are you getting like handmade, hand-churned ice cream that's really buttery, or are you getting like really weird chemical crap? You just giving them this idea of, this is the general concept of what we're going to dig into in some form or fashion, lets them know, are they getting hand-churned Amish country ice cream, or are they getting stuff that like is unnatural coloring? I would start there.
It's like soap notes, Sandra, which I know you know what soap notes are, right? And in the beginning of your massage therapy career, you had to do soap notes on every single client that came in. It's how you don't get sued. And yet, while it provided a framework of what was going on with the individual, it didn't necessarily tell you how you were going to massage or how you were going to address. Because in soap notes, you can't say, well, there's a fissure and in the left node of the right. You can't get that detailed because your hands haven't been on the body. And yet everything in general terms will feel better. You'll be more open. We'll take care of adhesions, blah, blah, blah. Right. It's that same thing. Chrissy, I love that you said that, because that's making me remember one day I had a client who said, I am considering, and this was years ago, I'm considering putting together an online course and I'd love to involve you. Can you come up with what you do and how you do it? And Sandra, I was like you. I was like, I have a shit ton of modalities. I don't know how they all go together. I just take whatever comes together. And that course never came to be. It never amounted to anything other than me being really clear on what I do, how I helped clients, and then the nuances were my own. Now you're going to take somebody from pain to pain-free and enlightened and enthusiastic in their life. And the magic is, Sandra, you are the way that they're going to get there. They just need just a little bit of, I don't want to call them buzzwords, but familiarity, right? Just familiarity. So I think that and I'm saying this for listeners and for every expert out there, and Chrissy, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's an extreme of being too vague. And those are the woo-woo magic people, right? I'm going to sprinkle you with fairy dust and everything's going to be perfect. And that there's definitely a client base for that, who is like, please just take care of everything and make everything better. And then you've got the people who go too far into the weeds with their marketing and communication. That leaves the reader and the listener and the potential client completely and utterly confused and going, I don't even know what it is that I need. And in there needs to be that sweet magic. I am your guide, and this is generally how you're going. This is how your journey is going to go, and I'm the one who's going to get you there.
And I'll add to that, and then I will let you talk, Sandra. Sorry, I just want to add one thing.
Let's just continue to talk about her like she's not here. Awesome.
Yes, 100% agreed. Dead on. And I think, Sandra, for you, depending on how you want to play it, you actually get to sit in kind of two of those camps. So you can sit in the camp of the people who are like, I'm in so much pain, just fix it for me. Because they might be in so much pain that they don't have the capacity to really do a whole lot. Like they need to get a little bit more in that window of tolerance to be able to do anything, right? Which is fun. And also, you're here to change the world. So my guess is, I might be wrong, but my guess is that is not the majority of the people that you want to work with all day, every day. You also get to sit in this camp of, I know my physical symptoms are a sign of something else. I know there's so much in my past that is just, hi, pay attention to me. But I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to heal through that and work through it and untangle the web. So you actually get to play with your choice. Hi, here's the vague. I'm magic. I'm going to teach you all these things. I'm going to help you heal. And you get sit in the camp of, here are the example purposes. 15 things that I'm going to pull upon to help you go from being riddled with pain to actually having the capacity to live the life that you want to. We're going to touch upon some of these things, non-exhaustive list, but you don't ever need to be, you specifically, don't ever need to be in this. We're going to start with step 1 and we're going to talk about watermelons. And then we're going to move on to step 2 and we're going to talk about pineapples. And then we're going to, you never need to be in that camp because of what you do and how you do it. And it would also be false because you do have nuances and you do have different ways that you work with people. But if you want to, you actually get to sit in 2 of those camps and play around with and test out the messaging and the marketing that says, there's a little bit of magic, come, I'll help you. And also there's magic backed by all of these things. It's kind of like a pick your own adventure. Which one do you want? Like, where are you, listener? Where are you, audience member, potential client? Find the adventure you're in and then come with me the rest of the way. I will get you through the end of the quest.
This makes so much sense. And how the hell do I figure out how to? Oh my goodness. But it makes things so much clearer, right? To get what my real role is. Yeah.
Because that's a question we all have. How the hell do I talk about the thing that I do? In a way, by the way, that sounds like me and also like gets me clients because, I need clients. There are lots of messaging buzzwords and things that you can use in formats and structures and da-da-da-da. Remember that you're talking to a human being. You're human, or you're a soul in a human body, how you want to see it. You're a human talking to another human in a way that you can help them. And it's The big core things, honestly, is it's storytelling. It is, how do you help them identify themselves in the story that you're telling with enough clarity that they can go, oh, okay, that's either literally the exact thing I'm experiencing right now, or that's not the exact right thing, but I can see the parallels. Maybe you share a story about, a mother and a daughter having issues, and the listener is a male, and he's like, oh, well, I'm not a mom, but my son is really working my last nerve. So it's just being able to tell the story in which they can identify themselves, and this is the part that a lot of people miss, and they can identify that there's something for them to do. Because it's one thing to raise your hand and be like, oh my gosh, our stories are so resonating. Like, that's amazing. Great, sunshine. Like, that doesn't do me any good. But it's also I can see myself in that story. The end goal is the thing that I want. Okay, she's going to help me go from today of being the left knee hurts and the right ankle hurts and everything is riddled with pain, to, oh, actually, I can go hiking and I can hold my dog's leash on my wrist and not worry about the pain that's going to come after a 15-minute walk. So number one, remember that you're a human talking to other humans, and just let it come. Let it be natural. It doesn't have to be polished. It doesn't have to be buzzwordy. It doesn't have to be anything except you being genuine. And also make sure that you are specific enough, again, not getting in the weeds of everything, but specific enough that they can feel and see themselves in the story that you're telling, and that there is a step for them to take. It's not just in that, like, oh my gosh, girl, yes, I see you on this. But there's actually oh, you want me to do this thing? Okay, great. Here's my email. I love watching you just like process everything we're saying.
No, isn't it great? I have this burning question, but I'm waiting.
Go ahead and ask.
I love Sandra. Sandra, do you have a basic, like, first step that, listen, you're going to do your homework. You're going to get standing operating procedures. You're going to map your way through all of that, map it out for yourself. Then, is there, and in those standing operating procedures, list all of the stuff that you do, all those certifications and all of those specialties, right? That then tells you what are your list of symptoms that you can speak to. And then, do you have maybe one little golden nugget that you would, sorry, it just came to me. But do you have one little golden nugget that you would prescribe to a room of 10,000 people? Here's one gift that I want you to take with you and put this to work in your life. And when you finally exhale and have a moment of clarity, here's my email.
Yeah. Anytime you have a thought going that's upset or bothered, breathe and feel your connection to the ground. Allow yourself to be supported. Anybody can do that.
Just love her. She's cute as a button.
So gentle and peaceful. I could literally see myself standing on my office floor just being like, okay.
So I have this imaginary tiny Sandra that sits in my pocket. I'm not even kidding you. And
Pocket
when
Sandra.
it is, it's Pocket Sandra. And I'm like, could we somehow make that? But when I am in a moment of like spiraling, I kid you not, I go, what would Sandra say? And I take her out of my pocket. I'm like, Sandra, what would you say? And I know that Sandra 1000% of the time would say, Lisa, get your feet on the ground and breathe. I know that. So now you have that. It's more than just your parting message in every email. It's more than the parting message in all of your messaging or on all marketing materials and all of this, which right now it comes across as like someone who says, "Be well, Lisa. Thanks so much, Lisa. Best regards, Lisa." It comes across as your parting word. Breathe, Sandra. And people go, "Okay." Right? And it's a throwaway. When in all reality, it is your golden fucking nugget. It is like the best gift if you present it the way that you just presented it. In a heartbeat. Chrissy was just realigned, grounded, calm, because that's the magic of you. So once you're organized and you have that standard operating procedures and you know exactly what your modalities are and you know what symptoms that you speak to, because all of that gives you the framework of how to share, and then you give that gift. And if you could see not the word breathe, but the act of breathing as this beautiful golden nugget or this little gift that is tied with a bow that you are giving to someone, everything changes. Everything changes. Then there's no convincing. And that's like where I'm like, dear God Almighty, please let's move Sandra out of convincing into gifting. And in that transition comes this realization that she is a gift. Oh my God. That's just everything.
You know why that works? Because when you breathe and ground, you're in the present. When you're worried, when you're afraid, you're in the past or in the future. And so by breathing and grounding, you come to now. That's
like if
what
you
works.
just fucking talked about that, just that, all the time. Sorry, is that bad coaching? This is why I'm not a coach. Just do that. Is that not good? That's my parenting too, by the way.
No, I am. Look, man, I'm not a gentle human being. I love you to pieces, and I am going to kick your ass until the cows come home because I love you so much. So like, no, that 100%. And I do think in everything we've talked about, there is this sense of, you know, you're good, Sandra, not just because Lisa's over here hyping you up. You know you're good. You know what you're talking about. You know. And you're not putting yourself out there in a way that says, I might not be God's gift to the world, but I am a gift. I'm going to change the world. It might take me years, who knows, right? But in this very just strong, shoulders back, chest up, chin up, I'm going to actually go ahead and say a little cocky. I'm amazing. And like everything else aside, do the marketing, do the message, SOPs, all the things that we've talked about, like they're great. Own the fact you are who you are and you are what you are. And I'm actually saying this on purpose in a way that borders cocky. Work your way up to that, right? Please don't go to there now because you're just going to set your nervous system back. To give yourself that like, oh, like the wings are out, right? And like you're showing us everything. I think that's going to be the biggest shift. You've had this huge realization. You know the thing that you want to do. You know what you want to focus on. You have this vision that you were going to tell more people about. And stepping up and being literally, birds are very important to me. Like shoulders back, wings out is going to be hands down the thing that does the most good. What do you say about that?
I think, listener, I think Sandra's on board. I love it when Sandra gets speechless and Sandra's just like,
There wasn't anything to
okay.
say to that.
Exactly, right? She just accepts it and goes, alrighty then. Well, we have had the pleasure of being together for over an hour now. And I hate to have to bring this to a close. But I have to. I hope that, Sandra, you were able to get some great insight and guidance from Chrissy. Chrissy, thank you so much, because your strength and your honesty and your care and your love in how you coach soul aligned entrepreneurs, I think, is so beautiful and necessary. So anybody out there, and when I say soul aligned entrepreneur, I'm not talking just about those of us who are in the holistic sector. I'm talking about if you are aligned with your soul's calling. And listen, you could be, I don't know, you could be a window washer and say, this is what I was called to do. I was called to open people's sight lines and to provide a beautiful vantage point for people. I just don't know how to communicate or build my business. That's soul aligned. So it literally, you could be in any line of work whatsoever and still benefit from this kind of coaching. Like I said, Chrissy's contact information will be in the show notes. Scroll on down, get in touch with her. And Sandra, fucking genius that she is going to be getting it together and sharing her magic with the world. Not that she doesn't already. She's just going to get much more clear in her messaging and how to communicate that. And everybody, if you haven't already guessed, you're going to be able to heal. Whether you know what you're after or you're in a state of confusion, there is this genuine strength and love that comes from working with Sandra. She really does come together, her soul with your soul, to create magic in your life. Contact her, get in touch with her. And I'm going to rob from Sandra right now and just say, breathe. Sandra, would you please close this episode?
The last thing I almost always say is everyone is always living their purpose 24/7. No matter what you are doing, you make a unique and important difference to the world, even when you're taking out the garbage.
Thank you so very, very much, Sandra, Chrissy. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for helping me share this very important work with everybody else. I appreciate you both. All right. Thanks so much. And listeners, if you have questions, put them in the comments. We'll be sure to get in touch with you. Before you go, Find Your Flow is now on YouTube. Subscribe to Find Your Flow with Lisa Roche and set your notifications to catch every episode as they are released. Joining this beautiful Find Your Flow community allows your energy to be included in every healing meditation. So subscribe and follow. And if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to share it with anyone else you think would enjoy it as well.